It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update as a big name was spotted backstage at AEW Dynamite. We look at which WWE champion Brock Lesnar refused to work with, and Samoa Joe has been released from WWE for the second time in a matter of months. And if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss the latest wrestling news. Last night, AEW would host the debut episode of Dynamite on TBS, with this being the first wrestling show on the network since 2001. According to WrestleNomics, All Elite Wrestling have managed to surpass the 1 million viewer mark despite the network move, an impressive feat given the new home. The show was up by 3.59% from last week's New Year's Smash, scoring an average viewership of 1.01 million. As for the key demo, they would get a 0.43 rating, which equates to 560,000 viewers between the age of 18 to 49, up over 15% from last week. The show would rank number 2 on the night for cable, compared to last week's number 4 position. This week's Dynamite viewership was also up 52.6% from the same week in 2021, with the key demo rating up by 72%, showing strong growth year on year. This week, New Japan Pro Wrestling would hold the first 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom, where one of their wrestlers sustained an injury. Jeff Cobb is said to have picked up a knee injury during his Night 1 6-man tag appearance, where he would team with his United Empire teammates Will Ospreay and Great-O-Khan to defeat LIJ's Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Bushi. Cobb would then wrestle Hurt on Night 2, this time wrestling Tetsuya Naito in singles action. He would come up short, losing the match, a match which is said to have aggravated his injury. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Cobb is set to have an MRI scan to assess the damage, with no word on the results as of yet. Cobb is currently not scheduled to wrestle on January 8th, where they will be holding Wrestle Kingdom Night 3, which is set to see New Japan stars taking on the best of pro wrestling Noah. Hopefully Cobb can recover from his injury quickly and get back to action as soon as possible. Now we have some news coming out of NXT UK that a certain wrestler is set to move across the pond to the main NXT brand. It was announced during NXT UK this week that the last match of former NXT champion Walter will air next week, when he takes on Nathan Frazier, who is the former Ben Carter. Walter would officially return to the NXT main brand this past Tuesday at New Year's Evil, teaming with Imperium stablemates Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. Unfortunately for the trio, they would lose the 6-man tag contest to MSK and Riddle, although it seems Walter's appearance won't be a one-off. He has been absent from NXT UK ever since his title defense against Rampage Brown in April, although he would battle Ilya Dragunov in an NXT UK match on United States soil at NXT TakeOver 36, where he dropped the title to Ilya Dragunov. Despite recent rumours of a main roster call-up for Walter, it seems that he will undergo a full-time NXT run before he gets there. Next up, let's go to some more WWE news, as the promotion is set to make their return to Saudi Arabia in the near future. According to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, the company will travel to the kingdom in late February, with him revealing on Twitter, hearing that WWE is planning on returning to Saudi Arabia on Saturday, February 19th. The tweet was then also backed up by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who confirmed that he has also heard the same from his sources. WWE's last Saudi Arabia show came on October 21st, 2021, where they hosted the Crown Jewel event in Riyadh. The show would be main evented by Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, with the latter retaining his belt. The show also saw the crowning of Xavier Woods as the King of the Ring, as well as Zelina Vega becoming the first ever Queen's Crown tournament winner. This past Tuesday, there would be a new NXT champion crowned when upstart Bron Breakker would defeat Tommaso Ciampa at New Year's Smash to become the face of NXT 2.0. After the show, he would be joined in the ring by his father and wrestling legend Rick Steiner, with both men celebrating the title victory. Following the match, Breakker would speak to CBS Sports, where he would reveal that this was the first time his dad has seen him wrestle, and he would say, "It was a surreal moment. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. It was just unbelievable. It still hasn't set in yet. That was really cool. My dad, it was the first time he's ever seen me work, and he sat front row. It was cool. It was a moment, and that's a moment I'll cherish forever." During his entrance for the NXT title match, Bron Breakker would symbolically destroy the old NXT logo, with this move and his ultimate win positioning him as the top guy on NXT 2.0, putting the former NXT in the past. The move was seen as disrespectful by many fans, although Breakker disagrees, and he would add, "I don't think it's a nail in the coffin or anything like that. We're just shifting from black and gold to 2.0. Tommaso Ciampa is going to be around. I'm sure that he and I will cross paths again. That will happen at some point in time, whether it's now or later, it's going to happen again. I'm looking forward to it, it's just a shift. Those guys are going to be here, I'm fully aware that they're here, it ain't going anywhere." And this despite Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, yeah. Okay. Whether the entrance was disrespectful or not, it's safe to say that the NXT as we knew it is gone, with many former stars of the brand as well as backstage coaches and producers now released from the company over the course of the last few days as well as the last few months. Last night, a big name in wrestling was spotted backstage at AEW Dynamite in the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Photos have emerged of former Ring of Honor wrestling owner Carrie Silken alongside a number of AEW wrestlers and staff. Silken was photographed with the likes of Matt Hardy, Bryan Danielson, Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, and Red Dragon, all of which are former ROH wrestlers. He was also seen with a number of non-Ring of Honor related stars, including Sammy Guevara, Tony Khan, and Chris Jericho. Silken would purchase Ring of Honor in 2004 before selling it to Sinclair Broadcasting in 2011, having led the company through what is arguably its golden era. He still acts as ROH's ambassador, although the nature of his AEW appearance is still unknown. The company is currently on hiatus following last month's Final Battle, with many wondering if his appearance could result in the companies working closer together going forward. Next, we have a report coming out of the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, where it was revealed that Brock Lesnar refused to work with a former WWE champion. According to Dave Meltzer, Lesnar was far from keen on working with Jinder Mahal back in 2017, which led to the then WWE champion dropping the belt to AJ Styles prior to the Survivor Series pay-per-view. If you remember, the original matchup was scheduled to see Mahal take on Lesnar in a champion versus champion match, with Lesnar being the then Universal Champion, but it seems Lesnar got the match nixed in favor of a clash with Styles, no pun intended. Jinder had held the title for 170 days prior to that defeat, with AJ's reign subsequently lasting 371 days. There was no reason given as to why Lesnar refused to work with Jinder, although we do know that Mahal's main event push would immediately end before he dropped back into obscurity. Lesnar would win the eventual matchup with Styles, and it was highly regarded, with AJ lasting 15 minutes with Brock before falling to an F5. It turned out to be one of the best matches of Brock's career, something that probably wouldn't have been said had the original plan stayed in place. Off the back of the recent WWE Performance Center releases over the past day or so, which saw a number of backstage staff and coaches let go from the company, former NXT champion and talent scout Samoa Joe has been released. Joe has been signed with WWE since 2015 before dominating NXT, going onto the main roster where he would become a two-time United States champion. That said, he was briefly released in early 2021 before being quickly given a new contract and assigned a role back in NXT. In a report from Fightful regarding yesterday's releases, it was stated by talent and staff familiar with the Performance Center and NXT that the releases were done directly to remove numerous Triple H hires from the company, so the news of Joe being released isn't too surprising. You may remember the first time when Samoa Joe was released in April 2021, it was Triple H who pushed for him to be re-signed. He would then shortly win the NXT Championship to become the final champion before the NXT 2.0 rebrand and the last NXT champion of the black and gold era. However, right before the launch of NXT 2.0, Joe would mysteriously vacate the title due to an undisclosed injury just hours before the debut episode, and he hasn't appeared on television since. Honestly, Joe deserves so much better than this, and clearly he isn't going to get the treatment that he deserves in WWE, so let's hope that he is still healthy enough to carry on wrestling and that we can see a career resurgence in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or dare I say it, AEW. AEW, although their roster is pretty stacked to the brim at this point. Either way, Joe will be fine and will hopefully find a home that truly understands his worth. In addition to Joe, it has been reported that Gabe Sapolsky has been let go from the company as well, who has been working with WWE at the Performance Center. In the past, Gabe worked as Paul Heyman's assistant in ECW before going on to be the original booker for Ring of Honor. He would then found the Evolve promotion in 2010, which would eventually be brought out by WWE in 2020 after eventually acting as basically a developmental brand to NXT. Gabe would be hired as a consultant for NXT in early 2018 before the buyout. He had also been working in NXT Creative as well as undergoing a role as a producer in recent months. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discuss 12 of the most obscure WWE appearances by AEW wrestlers.